Hello and good evening students, and welcome back to Global Online Platform. This is Chandni Swarnakar, and today we are going to cover Maharashtra set PYQs, okay? Particularly for September 2021. We are going to cover 30 questions from that paper. So now, we can start from the first question. The first question is based on Henry James, right? Henry James, who is an American British novelist, is regarded as a key figure between which kind of area or between which kind of age. Okay, so you need to answer that. So let me read the options for you. So the first option is literary transcendentalism and literary modernism. First option, literature realism or literary tradition. Third option, humanism and modernism. Or the fourth option is literary realism and literary modernism, which can be the correct answer. Do let me know. And try to guess it first, then I'll let you know the correct answer, okay? Now, see here. So Henry James was very much related to literary realism and literary modernism. Okay, so he was regarded as a key figure between literary realism and literary modernism. And except that information, let me tell you some of the other facts related to Henry James. He was the son of Henry James Sr. Okay, Henry James what? Henry James Sr. And the other works, the very important works of Henry James are The American, The American, then Daisy Miller. I hope you must have heard about these works because these are very famous works. Then The Portrait of a Lady, The Turn of the Screw. These are the very important works. Okay, so do consider the facts important. And the first question's answer is D. Okay, option number D. Now, second question, let me read it for you. In the rhyme of the ancient mariner, Coleridge writes, "Water, water everywhere, and all the boats did shrink. Water, water everywhere, nor any drop to drink." Okay, so here the question is asking about the figure of speech. Okay, which figure of speech does he employs? Okay, here. Now, the options are hyperbole, irony, oxymoron, or extended metaphor. So extended metaphor is a kind of a metaphor itself, but it is somewhat extended. Okay, so metaphor, you know that two unrelated things being compared, and the qualities is being compared here. So metaphor, here you cannot see any kind of metaphor seen here. Oxymoron, two opposite or two contrasting phrases or words combines together, right? And for example, deafening, deaf or silence. Okay, these two contradictory words combines together, and that is actually shows the use of oxymoron. Irony, what is irony? Irony, basically one thing is said while another thing is meant. You said something else but you mean something else. That is irony here. But situational irony can be there, dramatic irony can be there. Okay, so here you can see situational irony. Water, water everywhere, you can see water. Even boats can shrink there. Water, water everywhere, but you cannot drink. Any drop of water you cannot drink. Okay, so it's an irony, right? It's an example of irony. So the correct answer is B, irony. Now hyperbole, is use of exaggeration as a rhetorical device or figure of speech. Okay, so it is used to make something look or sound a lot better than it actually is. Okay, so that is hyperbole. So we cannot consider hyperbole, oxymoron or extended metaphor here. We'll only consider irony. Okay, so the correct answer is B. Moving on to the next question. For the first time in the history of Booker Prize for fiction, a graphic novel was nominated even though it failed to win the prestigious prize. The name of the graphic novel which figured in the long list of Booker Prize nominees in 2018 is. Okay, so need to answer that there is a graphic novel which was nominated even though it failed to win the prestigious prize. Okay, and the name of the graphic novel which figured in the long list of Booker Prize nominees in 2018 is like this kind of question, you just need to be aware of the prizes that the works are getting, okay, honored by. You can do the surveys, you can read articles on it. That is it, you can do with it. Okay, so the correct answer here is Sabrina, because Sabrina got the opportunity, okay, that opportunity for the first time in history. So the correct answer is Sabrina A. Moving on to the next question, what kind of sound is M? Okay, this is a sound, of course, and you need to find out which kind of sound is this. Okay, whether it's fricative, whether it's nasal, whether it's effricate or semi-vowel. So let me tell you, nasal is associated with sound N, sound NG and sound M. Okay, these three are very much related to nasal sound. What is nasal sound? Nasal sound basically produces sound from your nose, okay, through your nose. That is nasal sound. So here you need to remember whether it's this or this or this. You need to answer nasal sound. They will ask you what kind of sound is this. You'll answer nasal sound. Okay, so moving on. So let me tell you, the correct answer is the second one, B. Moving on to the next one. To which country Hamlet is being sent by Claudius in Shakespeare's play Hamlet? Everyone knows Hamlet is a play written by Shakespeare, and there is a character Claudius, and Hamlet is being sent by Claudius somewhere, and you need to answer in which country or to which country he sent to. Okay, you need to answer that, whether it's England or Denmark or Venice or Rome. Okay, so do think about, and these are the minor things that sometimes we skip, but the examiner knows what we will skip, so they'll ask you questions on that. So to check that whether you are very much aware of these facts or not. Okay, so the correct answer is England. Hamlet is being sent by Claudius in Shakespeare play Hamlet to which country? To England. Okay, got it. Now moving on to the question number 6. In which play does Vittoria Corombona become the mistress of the Duke of Bresciano, who for her sake murders both her husband and his own duchess? Here, in which play does Vittoria Corombona become the mistress of the Duke of Bresciano, who for her sake murders both her husband and his own duchess? Here you need to answer that. So you need to find out the play where there is a character Vittoria Corombona and there is a character Duke of Bresciano. Okay, and the scene is like this, that for her sake murders both her husband and his own duchess. So the options are all Fortunatus, second the White Devil, third the Maid's Tragedy, or the fourth one is Philaster. So let me tell you, old Fortunatus, that was written by Thomas Dekker. Okay, and it's a story of Fortunatus and his magic. Okay, so it's a story related to Fortunatus. Now second thing, the White Devil. The White Devil is having character Vittoria Corombona and Duke of Bresciano. So here you can see the correct answer is the second one, the White Devil. Still we'll need to consider the other options. So let me tell you more about it. The Maid's Tragedy is written by Francis Beaumont and John Fletcher. Okay, these two works is being written by Francis Beaumont and John Fletcher. So the maid servant, basically the main heroine was Evadne, and Philaster is having characters like Philaster, Arethusa, Pharamond. These are the characters. Okay, so the correct answer here is the White Devil. Let me tell you more about the other other questions. In which of the following poems do the given lines occur? Though was not born for death, immortal bird, no hungry generations tread thee down. Okay, so here's a line and you need to find out from which poem it was taken. Though was not born for death, immortal bird, no hungry generation tread thee down. Whether it's to a skylark or to a nightingale or on imitations of immortality or the rhyme of the ancient mariner. Do think about it. Let me tell you, you just need to remember these things. First line or read the poem, you will get to know, okay, from this poem this line has been taken. So you need to answer. So here the correct answer is Ode to a Nightingale. Okay, so the second one is the correct answer. Moving on to the next question. It's a very easy and very straight question, okay, direct question. In Divine Comedy, Virgin proceeds to guide Dante through the concentrated circles of hell. So the circles, the question is asking about the circles, okay. So in Divine Comedy, Virgin proceeds to guide Dante through dash concentric circles of hell. How many circles were there? You need to answer that. So let me tell you, it was 9. It's very straight. So C will be our correct answer. Moving on to the next one. Miracle plays are based on the lives of. So let me tell you, there are miracle plays, mystery plays, okay, and you need to know these things, the basic things, or which kind of plays miracle was, or which kind of play mystery was. You need to answer that. You need to know about it. So the options are knights, crusaders, pilgrims, or saints. So the correct answer is saints. No beating about the bush, you just need to answer that. Now moving on to the question number 10. Nature that framed us of 4 elements, wearing within our breasts for regiment, doth teach us all to have aspiring minds. Nature that framed us of 4 elements, wearing within our breasts for regiment, doth teach us all to have aspiring minds. Above lines are taken from. I do remember this line, so I can tell you the correct answer. But let me tell you the other options. The first option is Edward II. Second, the Tamburlaine the Great. Third, the tragical history of Dr. Faustus. I hope you all know that. The famous tragedy of the rich Jew of Malta. So you need to understand these are the works written by the 4 of them, written by Christopher Marlowe. Okay, so from here you can see that from Christopher Marlowe's play they can ask you questions on quotations. Okay, so the correct answer is Tamburlaine the Great. These are the lines from Tamburlaine the Great written by Christopher Marlowe. Moving on to the next question. Which book of Nelson Mandela was published posthumously? Okay, so Nelson Mandela has written a lot of works. Sometimes he was collaborated with some writers, and sometimes he wrote it all together. It's himself. Okay, so you need to answer that which book of his published posthumously after his death. Okay, so the first long work to freedom, of course, it was written by Nelson Mandela, but it was not published posthumously. The Struggle in My Life was also written by Nelson Mandela, was not in this list. Favorite African Folktales was also written by him, but not in this list. But the correct answer is Dare Not Lingers. The full title is Dare Not Linger, the presidential years, okay, and it was written by 2 writers. First is Mandla Langa, and the second is Nelson Mandela. Okay, so these 2 writers have written this particular work and it was published posthumously. You need to understand. Now moving on to the next question. Who is the speaker of the lines? Okay, need to answer that. Then my glasses / cut in more subtle angles to disperse / and multiply the figures as I walk / necked between my cubae. So you need to know. So let me tell you, these are the lines from The Alchemist. The Alchemist. which is written by Ben Jonson. It's very easy because Alchemist was written by. The Alchemist was also there is another work, Alchemist, but it was not a literary work, right? And the above quotation is being said by Sir Epicure Memon, who was very wise person there. The whole story is having a very wise person, that's Sir Epicure Memon, and the correct answer is A, Sir Epicure Memon. Okay, moving on to the next. The classification very Indian poems in English was made by, it was also a classification, but it was also a work written by Nissim Ezekiel. So here it's very self-explanatory that the correct answer is Nissim Ezekiel, the third one. Okay, moving on to the next question. Who is the heroine of Girish Karnad's play Hayavadana? Who is the heroine of Girish Karnad's play Hayavadana? And the first is Nalini, second Radha, third Padmini or Shalini. So let me tell you, Girish Karnad's play was actually having a main character, or the heroine is Padmini, along with other characters like Devdatta and Kapila. So let me tell you, this two of them are having the same love affair or love interest towards Padmini. Okay, so love interest of both of them was Padmini, and love triangle kind of thing was there, and it was a two-act play, and it was published in 1971. Do remember this small details about this particular work. Okay, moving on. In an eclectic approach to language teaching, the teaching chooses. So let me tell you about eclectic approach. Eclectic approach combines listening, speaking, reading, writing, but it includes direct practice. Like a teacher can choose any which way he or she wants. Okay, there is no particular rule or that you have to choose a particular way. You are very free to choose a wide range of methods or resources to teach a particular topic. Okay, so that is eclectic approach to language teaching. And here, after knowing these details about eclectic approach, you will be able to answer the correct answer. So the options are to devise her own personal approach. Okay, this is not the correct answer. Different techniques from different language theories, of course this is the correct answer. To strictly follow only one approach, but the eclectic approach says that you can choose a lot of, you are not restricted. So this is also not the correct option. To alternate two approaches, you can choose more than two approaches. Yeah, so the fourth one is also not going to be a correct option. So the correct option is second one. The correct answer is B, different techniques from different language theories. Moving on. Match the critics, column A, with the mode of literary representation, column B. Okay, so these are the writers, these are the terms that is associated with this writer. So you need to find out which writer is associated with which term. So let me tell you, feminine writing is associated with Helen success. Okay, so D here. Now signifying is associated with whom? Lee Edelman. Okay, wait a minute, not Lee Edelman, Henry Louis Gates. Okay, I'm so sorry, Henry Louis Gates. Then the third one, or a trickster figure, is associated with Gerard Vigeneur. And of course the last one will go with the third one, A here. Okay, homographic will be with Lee Edelman. Okay, so this is the correct match. You can see here. Okay, I, D, 2, C, 3, A, 4, B. Okay, moving on to the next one. The work Spectres of Marx is written by. These are the options: Raymond Williams, Terry Eagleton, Frederick Jameson, Jacques Derrida. But it's very straightforward answer. Spectres of Marx was written by, of course, Jacques Derrida. So the correct answer will be Fourth one. Moving on. Who is the author of the Great Edition? I have discussed this question so many times in Global Online ugc-net platform while discussing the previous year questions of ugc-net. Okay, so I have also covered this theories there, so you can watch it. Now the correct answer is F.R. Lewis. Okay, so I.A. Richards talks about ambiguities. Matthew Arnold and Franz Kafka are not the authors, so the correct answer is F.R. Lewis. Not the authors of the Great Edition, they are of course the authors. F.R. Lewis is the correct answer. Okay, moving on to the next question. The literal meaning of hamartia is, here you can guess, hamartia is what? Hamartia is having a flow. A character or a hero is having a flow, right? So hamartia is missing something. So misdirection is not there. Missing the mark. Basically there is something missing. The point is there, the set model is there, but you are missing something. So the correct answer is missing the mark. Okay. And other options are misconception. Of course, this is not a mistaken identity. No, not at all. So the second one is the correct answer. Moving on to the next one. The journal of Richard Steele that had just succeeded the Tatler was. The journal of Richard Steele that just succeeded the Tatler was. The options are the Spectator, the Athenian Mercury, Female Tatler, Female Spectator. Okay, so these are the journals. So you need to answer that the journal of Richard Steele that just succeeded the Tatler was. So the Spectator was the correct, is the correct answer, not the was, is the correct answer. Okay. Okay. So moving on to question number 21. So Matthew Arnold's model of culture was based on. I hope you all have read about Matthew Arnold's model of culture. So it's very easy to identify because of the person, because the way Matthew Arnold portrays things, because how he usually used to write, you know. So that was easy, but still I am giving you a chance to answer that. So the first option is industrialization. Second, scientific progress. Third, material prosperity. The fourth one is internal purification, integrity and abstinence. So it's very easy, and the correct answer is internal purification, integrity and abstinence. Okay. So moving on to the question number 22. In one of his novels, Thomas Hardy says, happiness is but an occasional episode in the general drama of pain. It's like a motivational quote, but you need to answer. So here, in one of his novels, Thomas Hardy says, happiness is but an occasional episode in the general drama of pain. So the options are the Return of the Native, the Mayor of Casterbridge, the Jude the Obscure, or Tess of the D'Averblas. So I do know the correct answer, so let me tell you. The correct answer is the Return of the Native, where he quote these lines, happiness is but an occasional episode in the general drama of pain. Okay, moving on. Question number 23. To thee I call, the goddess of torment, though cruel wit, that sorrow established even in pain, help me, that am the sorry instrument that helps lovers as I can to pain. To thee I call, thou goddess of torment, thou cruel wit, that sorrow established even in pain, help me, that am the sorry instrument that helped lovers as I can to pain. Okay, so the above lines are written by. So the above lines are from, you need to know that, above lines are from Troilus and Cresside, and that was of course written by Geoffrey Chaucer. So what would be the correct answer? Without even thinking, you can say that Geoffrey Chaucer. Okay, so the third one is the correct answer. Moving on to the question number 24. Wait a minute. So here the concluding line of Spenserian stanza is called, whether it's Alexandrine line, climactic line, Shishora is not, it should be not there. Chorzarima, okay, so you need to answer that. So let me tell you about Spencerian stanza. It is having, its stanzas contains 9 lines in total, okay. So 8 lines in iambic pentameter, by a single, followed by a single Alexander line. So the correct answer is Alexander line. Having iambic hexameter. The 8 lines are having iambic pentameter, but a single line that was followed by the iambic penta 8 lines is in iambic hexameter. Okay, so the correct answer is A, the first one, Alexandra line. Okay, moving on. Wait a minute. Moving on to question number 25. Identify the figure of speech in the following lines. Sceptre and crown must tumble down, and in the dust be equal made with the poor crooked scythe and spade. So the options are prosopopia, metonymy, dead metaphor, and kenning. So kenning, I give you an example of kenning, Whale Road. Okay, so I have discussed this, and you can watch in the previous lectures in ugc-net, Global 9 ugc-net platform. Okay, dead metaphor, we don't use it now, it's dead. And metonymy is basically when you use a particular thing associated with the thing you wanted to talk. Okay, for example, sceptre and crown is associated with king's accessories. Okay, so it is actually representing king, but behalf of king you're using sceptre. The writer, of course, the poet, is using sceptre and crown. So instead of using king altogether, he is using sceptre and crowns. That is actually metonymy. Must tumble down, and the dust be equal made with the poor crooked scythe and spade. Scythe and spade representing a poor farmer's farmer. Okay, and so that is actually behalf of farmer, on the behalf of farmer, on the behalf of king. The writer has used something else, some other words related to the king and the farmer. So that is metonymy. So the correct answer is metonymy. But let me discuss the first option as well, prosopopia. So prosopopia, a figure of speech in which an imagined or absent or dead person or thing is represented as speaking. Just imagine somebody died and the person started speaking. That is also very horror, terrific or horror kind of situation, but that is in literature a figure of speech. Okay, and that is called prosopopia. Okay, moving on to the question number 26. The prose work, The Marriage of Heaven and Hell, is written by which of the following? These are the options: William Blake, William Wordsworth, Walter Scott, or Charles Lamb. The correct answer is William Blake. That you just do not need to do anything about it. Just do remember the writer's work. That is it. Moving on to the question number 27. Who was the most outstanding leader of a group who believed that Eliot's poetry was over-intellectual and that Auden's was unduly sociological? Okay, so who believed it? So need to answer that. Ted Hughes, Seamus Heaney, Roy Fuller, or Dylan Thomas? Okay, so Dylan Thomas or Roy Fuller, Seamus Heaney, or Ted Hughes? So it's Dylan Thomas. The correct answer is Dylan Thomas. Moving on to the question number 28. The literary phenomena called the angry young man occurred in the... So the angry young man came from John Osborne's Look Back in Anger. There's a work, Look Back in Anger. The author is John Osborne. Okay, and from here the term the angry young man came. Now it came or occurred in 1950s. So the correct answer is the second one, 1950s. Okay. Moving on to the question number 29. Who are ape-like beasts in human form in Gulliver's Travel? So here you need to understand that you need to read Gulliver's Travel in a way that you know that which kind of characters were appeared there. Okay. or appearing there. You need to understand more details so that you can answer such questions. So whether it's Lilliputians were very small, tiny characters. Brobdingnagians or Houyhnhnms. Houyhnhnms was a horse kind of character, and the Yahoos. So the correct answer is who were ape like beasts in human form was Yahoos. Okay, so the correct answer is the fourth one, Yahoos. Moving on to the third one. Just forget this. I think I repeated the whole question. Okay, just ignore it. Who termed metaphysical poetry as affectation of big words, fusion phrases, jingly terms, strong lines, dash? You need to answer that. So let me tell you, Dr. Johnson was the person who coined the term metaphysical poetry. Okay, so he was not the person who termed it as affectation of big words, fusion phrases, jingling terms, strong lines. It was somebody else. So you need to answer that. So whether it's Dryden, whether it's Alexander Pope, whether it's Dr. Johnson will not be the answer, or Robert Burton. So the correct answer is Robert Burton. Okay, so D will be our correct answer. Now we have completed today's lecture. We'll meet in the next lecture. Thank you very much, and keep on revising things, okay, so that you can score better.